Hello again. It's Restaurant Review time. I'm Bob Bockelman, your host. We're in the middle of March. In fact, we're celebrating a lot of St. Patrick's Day here in New Orleans. We have parades today, parades tomorrow, even though that big St. Patty's Day doesn't come on until the 17th. But the problem is we also celebrate St. Joseph's Day on the 19th, so that'll be next weekend. So we have to fit them all in. And we're hoping you're having a great weekend. We've got beautiful weather down here in New Orleans, and we're hoping that wherever you are, you also are finding it pretty. Today, as usual, we're bringing to you a great new restaurant here in our right downtown, in fact, in the city of New Orleans. And we also are bringing you a musical guest. Now, we have someone off our archive tape. We're not in live in the studio, but I know you're going to like them. And once again, we have a special event that we're promoting. We've got some great new details where you can attend for free. In other words, it's great. So pay attention during the show because I think you'll like it. Okay, now what we're going to do now is go ahead and let you hear from that musical guest who was with us about a year or so ago. His name is Jesse Moore, and he plays all around New Orleans. Hopefully we got a picture of his CD because he plays, I believe, at Margaritaville, places like that. Really a fun artist, great for our city. So let's hear it from Jesse Moore. Take it away.
What's right, it's a dealing with the consequences. Half the time, my heart is working overtime. Thinking about the road I took, it's amazing that I'm not demented. Decisions, I can't wait for trying. My imperfect visions got someone crying. Decisions, my heart's so divided. I feel so misguided, feels like the stars have collided. Half the time, I figure that I'm doing fine. I see the light on the road to right, then my heart is in the right position. Suddenly I find a route to read the signs. I couldn't see the future, though I was looking in the right direction. The decisions, I can't wait for trying. My imperfect visions got someone crying. Decisions, my heart's so divided. I feel so misguided, feels like the stars have collided. Once again, somebody gets the bitter end. Never wanted to hurt no one, that never was my intention. Hopefully, I'll get it right eventually. Gotta figure a way to go, and I hope it's in the right direction. Decisions, I can't wait for trying. My imperfect visions got someone crying. Decisions, my heart's so divided. I feel so misguided, feels like the stars have
That was Jesse Moore and his little backup group. What a peppy little song. Hopefully that gets you in the right spirit for our today's show. And as we mentioned, we've got a great new restaurant for you. which is located in the heart of what we call a CBD, a commercial business district, which is really one block off Canal Street. And the name of the new restaurant is called the Common Street Deli. And we're pleased today. In fact, we're especially pleased because the owner is fighting a real bad cough and throat situation, and she's been a real trooper to come in today. So you'll pardon her. I know she's concerned about her voice, but I think she's going to do fine. We want to go ahead and welcome Miss Judy Barry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bob.
See? No problem. You got halfway through. We got that first word out. That was the key. Well, Judy, tell us a little bit how you got into the restaurant business. This restaurant, folks, for those who know, has been a restaurant about 2 or 3 times. In fact, during our first season, our second season, we had some owners who came from California. And I don't know if you remember way back then, if you're a loyal follower, called Giacomono's. They sold it to someone else. It really wasn't up to par. And Judy is coming in and bought it. So tell us, why did you decide to open this restaurant?
We really are excited about our new restaurant and some of the food that we're starting to incorporate down there. I have been a business owner for 25 years, although I'm new to the restaurant business. I'm from a large Italian family, and we spent many wonderful occasions cooking many recipes that were passed down over all of our generations. We're hoping to incorporate some of these special dishes at the deli as some of our daily specials.
And I'm telling you, she's really bringing a sense of America and some of her background to the restaurant. Now tell us a little bit about, now again, people can say, oh, that's just for workers because it's downtown. Well, today that's not true anymore, because even though this is a great place for those on the go or who are rushing down, because you'll see it does breakfast and lunch, and soon we'll be opening for dinner. And the reason why she's pushing into that is because, as we all know, the whole central business district area is becoming a living zone again. All the former department stores are being converted into condos and residential units, and more of the people. They went to the warehouse district first, now they're moving into the commercial business district. Plus, a lot of people work in the evening or go out for their exercise and are looking for a meal after. So this is a great little place. It's not just for workers, but we welcome all sorts. So tell us a little bit about your days of operation, and so that people can know where we are.
We are opening at 7 o'clock in the morning. Right now we're running our hours to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We serve breakfast all day long. We have a lot of people who like to have breakfast late in the afternoon. So we're doing breakfast, and lunch. We have a variety of sandwiches that are great. People really like our sandwiches.
Well, we're going to get into the food in a little bit. Let's say how long. So what days are you open from 7 to 5?
We're open Monday through Friday from 7 to 5. And on Saturday and Sunday, we're opening from 7 to 3. We're hoping to expand to have a dinner hour. We're pursuing a license right now for liquor. And if you would like to come and join us for dinner anytime, you're welcome to bring your own wine. But we are hoping to open that avenue, since we're so adjacent to many hotels. We are getting a lot of tourists walking over and having meals at our restaurant.
And the name, of course, identifies where they're located, Common Street Deli on Common Street. They're in the 800 block between Carondelet and Barone. So convenient to anywhere downtown. So when the Canal Street revival comes back, that's going to help them tremendously with all the people shopping when that area is finished in the next 18 months. But as she mentioned, the tremendous influx and conversions of our buildings to either apartments, hotels, or condos is going to really dictate that she stay open later for everyone to get a sample, especially when you try it. Okay, it's a very small deli, though. How many people do you see? You got a great little thing we're showing some of the pictures, hopefully we are. You're going to see how many tables do you have, but then you also have a great counter seating that has a magnificent view.
Yes, we do. We have about 4 tables. We seat about 20 people, but then we also have a counter space, which we seat another 5.
Right.
We do have a lot of the business people who take their lunches to go, and they bring them back up to the office. But we try to set up a really nice atmosphere where we have music playing during the day, and we also have the TV on. where you can see what's the latest events for the weather, daily events happening on CNN. So we try to set up a nice atmosphere, and I guess in the long run it'll be about maybe 30 people we can seat.
Oh yeah, it's going to be nice, and like I say, because it's all glass, one wall where the counter seating is. Everyone loves to see outside. You get to see the travelers, and so it really, if you're a single diner, it's perfect. It really makes you feel comfortable in the situation. Okay, well, we do want to tell you that the director's going to put up some phone numbers. Judy's going to do a darn good job of answering any question. I'll try to help about the restaurant, so don't hesitate to give us a call. Those numbers will be up all during the show, and we'd love to hear from you about any question you might want to ask her about the new restaurant. But without further ado, what we're going to do is, even though she's serving two meals a day, and then eventually we'll 3, we're going to focus on the luncheon menu. We will spend a little time after we finish the luncheon menu talking about some of the breakfast items. But what we decided to do was take a crossover item so you would see. Our very first dish is a veggie omelet. I know we have a lot of vegetarians that we get calls usually looking, so right on the bat, we're ready to please you. Here's something you can have, certainly meets the breakfast criteria, lunch criteria, or even open. Let's see if we can tell us, please, Judy, about your veggie omelet.
We have a lot of people in the city who really are like our veggie sandwiches and our veggie omelets. And we try to offer a variety of vegetables that we saute.
Let's tell the folks which one. I know we can see some, but rather than having them guess, let's identify what we had in that particular one in the picture.
We have red onions. We have green peppers. We sometimes put mushrooms. We have mushrooms right there. Sometimes we put artichoke hearts, just various different things.
Whatever you have for that particular day.
Yeah, we try to bring in new things as we can so that we can actually let a person design their own. Right. And we cook it right in front of them so they know it's very, very fresh. And
what we did, folks, is actually slice it half open so you could see. We wanted to show you the contents. Obviously, normally you wouldn't see those contents like the other half, but we always do that so you can really see the great stuff looking on the inside. So remember, breakfast is served all day long, so this can be ordered from the early time in the morning all the way till the evening. It's great, along as well as some of the other items, which we'll get to later. But let's now start with some of the other items. I think we want to do is take a look at your soups, I believe, is the first thing in the order. And I think we have, was it your onion soup? Yes. Tell us about your traditional style onion soup.
Yes, we do a lot of home cooking. We make that French onion soup from scratch. We put the best onions, and we usually, people love our French bread that we incorporate. Of course, we toast it and put a provolone cheese on it, and we've got a real good response to them, to our onion soup.
And we're going to take a look at the other soup. Now, these are soups de jour, right? From what I understand, it's not the same soup every. So, folks, and they're going to try and do 2 soups, which is one of my favorites every day. So, if we can keep that up, I think you'll be pleasing a lot of people. Now, the second one, I didn't try the onion, but the next one I can guarantee, and it's her potato soup. And everybody says, "Oh, potato's so bland." Absolutely the opposite here. And it's not just your clean cream or your puree of potato with a little bit of addings on it. Loaded with big chunks of potatoes, some carrots, other vegetables, really delicious. And then, of course, the wonderful texture of blending of cheese. I don't want to spill your thunder, but go ahead and tell us. Really enjoyed this soup. Tell us about this one, please.
The baked potato soup, of course, has the potatoes. We put onions, green onions in there, and we put bacon bits, and we top it with the cheddar cheese. And that's also one of our very popular soups.
Excellent. It really is excellent. I'm telling you, like I said, because, again, you can tell it's home style, which is the way we like it, when they've got that extra hunks of potatoes, a really chunky kind of style, so it really makes it good. It's not just the bland old potato like most people, a lot of restaurants unfortunately serve. So I know a lot of people would shy away when they hear potato, but we wanted to show you how pretty this particular one was. Now, salads. She has a nice array of salads. And we've got 2 salads pictured for you. One is the chef and one is the club. I think this is the chef? No, the Italian. There's a chef salad?
That's chef salad.
Chef salad. Let's talk about this. And, of course, you got your greens. But tell us what kind of meats. They had some unusual meats in this particular salad.
For our chef salad, we start with a mixture of lettuce. We don't just have one type. You know, we have iceberg, romaine. We put some purple cabbage also in there. A sort of a spring mix. And then we top it with, we really have searched out what we feel is the best meat products available to us here in the city. So we have really like a 4-star turkey. We have a great ham, sliced ham that we put in there. We put in our bacon, our boiled eggs, and our tomatoes. And we have a variety of really nice dressings so that people can add as they would like, the amount they would like.
Okay. Now let's take a look at the Italian salad, because this is the one that got mixed up, really had the unusual meat in it. Now the first one was straightforward turkey and ham, which is a traditional chef salad. But this one I thought was quite unusual and very, very tasty. Let's talk about this, please.
We do this salad with ham. We also put pepperoni on it. We put mozzarella cheese. We also do an olive salad in it. Tomatoes, it's very fresh, it's very good, it's very healthy because normally you're going to use a light olive oil and vinaigrette dressing on it. So this is quite popular.
Really neat. I think the addition of pepperoni instead of the, I think some of them use salami or something like that in the antipasto. I think this is really a great Italian salad. That addition of the pepperoni will really please a lot of folks. Okay, as we mentioned, there's about 3 other salads on the menu, so it's really great now that summertime's coming. And, of course, many times the ladies are eating light anyway for the lunch period, so this is a great combination for them. Okay, let's move on now. As we mentioned, we have sandwiches and we have some plate dishes that change every day. Now, let's talk about, I think the first sandwich we have is a wonderful chicken salad croissant, which is very light but still hearty. Tell us about this one.
Our chicken salad is very popular. We get a lot of requests for this.
Now you make that at scratch, right?
We make it from scratch, and we use only the breast of the chicken, which I think probably is the key for just kind of setting it apart from normal, what people would think of as normal chicken salad. And of course, putting it on the croissant just even makes it better. And then if someone wants to dress, we'll add a lot of other things like lettuce, tomatoes, and our onions or whatever they would like. We also have a great tuna salad that we do, which is similar. So these
especially now with Lent coming, the alternate with the tuna salad is great during those Fridays or any other day really as an alternative. But now let's take a look at, I believe it's your club sandwiches. This is a mighty hoe, just like your salad. Let's take a look at that club sandwich and tell us about that one.
Actually, we pile our club sandwich so high that it's really hard for us to even cut it. We put so much meat on it. We have bacon. We have the best cheese we can find. We've of course got turkey, ham, lettuce, tomatoes, and it literally is about 4 inches tall. We have a great demand for that, and we also serve a honey mustard dressing that you can have along with that. Some people
and lots of chips. We had to scale back on the chips for the photo because it was hiding. There was so many chips. It was hiding a really great sandwich. So that's why don't think, oh, you gave us a few chips. You get a lot more chips than that. But at the same time, the important thing is the sandwich is really delightful and power packed. Now here's something that's really unusual. It's just starting to make a comeback. As we've talked about on this show for a year now, slowly we are recycling back to the old home-style food that I know I grew up with. That was all taboo because of everybody going nouveau or heart healthy this way or the other. And one of the really traditional items, especially in the diner motif, is the Philly cheesesteak sandwich. And even though we're a Southern tradition here, Judy has done a bang-up job with getting this as close to authentic as flavor is really good. We got 2 good pictures of this. Let's talk about this, please, in detail.
We have sought out once again the really top quality roast beef. It's a 5-star roast beef. It has an excellent flavor. We slice that thin, and we saute fresh green peppers, red onions, along with the roast beef. We get everything hot. We always heat up our sandwiches. We give you the French bread, hot, crispy hot, which really adds to the taste of the sandwich. Also, one other thing, Bob, we do offer a variety of breads. We have several people that request our whole wheat French bread that we serve. We can serve the Philly cheesesteak on that also. And with any of our other sandwiches, like the club sandwich, we have a multi-grain wheat bread. And we also offer wraps and things like this. So you can kind of build your own sandwich and really make it the way you want, and either as healthy as you want, whatever you're trying to achieve in your daily life.
Well, I think the true emphasis here is the use of the green pepper and the red onion. Too many folks are afraid to put that on a sandwich because it would be offensive, and really, if you're not ready for a robust sandwich, you need to shy away from this type of sandwich. At the same time, the authenticity of it lies in the grilling of those onions, especially a red onion or a purple onion instead of a white onion. And the green peppers. A lot of people just can't eat a pepper, but at the same time, those two flavors would really inject the meat, and I'd say meat, but the meat and potatoes to this sandwich. And too many people who are trying to do it today are very shy, leaving that off, or putting a small piece of onion, no green peppers, and there's a world of difference. If you're not going to have that, you really aren't having the authentic taste of it. So that's great. Now, also, Judy mentioned, we really didn't mention, is in addition to all these great sandwiches, soups, and salads, every day she's doing a plate du jour. This particular day it really throws back to her Italian roots, and it's lasagna. So I'm going to put my 2 cents in after you tell us about your lasagna. We've got a couple of great pictures of this here, folks. But please tell us how you do this.
Our lasagna is a very meaty lasagna. We use top quality meat in it, and we put a lot of cheeses. We have about 3 different cheeses we incorporate in our lasagna. We put a lot of Italian seasoning in our sauce. It's a tomato, basil, and all of this to really give it a really rich, very hearty feeling. It's an excellent dish. People love our lasagna. And we have many other Italian dishes that they also enjoy with us.
Well, I would really concur. And there is today, and again, lasagna falls in and out. Everyone has it if they have any Italian retinue, but at the same time, today's lasagna, besides going vegetarian, which is not bad in its own right, but today's lasagna has become a squared off little piece of something that really, for the most part, is very bland in taste. And I see no reason to eat it. I mean, I know it might be healthier, it might be whatever the reasons, but it's really resolved into that. And as far as I'm concerned, people who want to eat lasagna have a hearty appetite. They want the robust flavor of all the cheeses, and it's meaty and cheesy. You can never outmatch that. Those two are constant ingredients, and that's what Judy has put in here today. Putting the tender love and care, really loading it down with the meat content and the cheese content with a light gravy, but still enough to remind you of the good old lasagna days. So, and as you saw, that portion hopefully wasn't just big for me, because I saw them serve other portions. Was really huge. So this will be something that you could take home if you only wanted to eat part of it, and take the rest home for the evening, because it's really a great portion and a wonderful taste. Now let's do this, Judy. Let's go back and recount for the other plates to do, so people will know. And of course, she's also varying this up. These are not fixed in eternity. She'll be changing some up. But President, let's talk about the 5 weekday items, because a lot of people like to know in advance what's going to be your plate this year, so they know where to go. I know Mondays have got to be a red bean and rice day. Is that right?
Yes, we always do red beans and rice on Monday. We try to vary some. We love to try new recipes. On Wednesday, we have a wonderful lady that works with us that also cooks for us also, and she makes a great meatloaf. We have people come in on Wednesdays for this homemade meatloaf.
And what are you serving? Now, what kind of meats? Do you know which meat she's using? Is she
that's
mixing
a
pork,
secret, Bob.
or is it beef?
I can't let that out.
Oh, can't let it out. Well, okay. And what are you serving it with?
The meat. What we do also is we make homemade mashed potatoes, which a lot of people like to do instant potatoes, but I won't let that fly over there. We want everything fresh, and we want everything like you would have at your own home.
So you, homemade mashed potatoes. Can't beat that with a meatloaf. Now, what about you? Skip Tuesday. What about Tuesday?
Tuesday, we love to do something with chicken. Sometimes we do chicken parmesan. Sometimes we do a roasted chicken to vary it up for people who might be trying to watch their waistline.
Well, yeah, I was saying you hit it on the nose. Of the one dish of the new millennium, I think rotisserie or roasted chicken is absolutely the most flavorful one, but also the most healthy. So of all the healthy dishes, I think certainly that's the one that everyone can agree is the most tasty. So I'm glad to hear you're doing that. All right, how about Thursday now? We haven't done Thursday yet, huh?
As I said, we kind of vary it up. We have a special seafood stew that we make. It's very, very good. It's something that you would think of the recipe for a beef stew, but instead of beef, we put shrimp in it. And that's a very popular dish.
So it's a brown gravy?
Yes, it's a brown gravy. And
any other ones? Because that is their chef's special day.
Yeah.
Any other ones you put out there on Thursday?
As I say, we've done chicken cordon bleu. We do, of course, spaghetti and meatballs. On Fridays, we go try to do a seafood thing. We do crawfish Monica. We also
and for those who don't know what crawfish Monica, even though nowadays that's become a common word ever since the Jazz Fest, but tell people what is crawfish Monica?
Crawfish in a cream sauce over like a linguine. It's really nice with some Romano cheese over the top. It's a creamy sauce. That is a really nice dish. Also on Fridays we do gumbo. We try to keep with a lot of the New Orleans things that people are looking for. We vary our soups and our dishes. We've also grilled, pan-fried, I should say, salmon. We've had little salmon steaks on Friday. We've done catfish. So we really kind of like, people sort of like calling and saying, okay, what are you having today? And as they request these things to be recooked the next week or the same type of thing, we're trying to keep in mind what they like and what they want us to repeat.
Great. Those sound great. Now, as I mentioned, we only looked at a couple of sandwiches, but before we go back into sandwiches, we do have a few minutes before we go back to our musicians. Let's talk about breakfast. As we mentioned, we don't have any pictures, unfortunately, because we were there even though they still serve it, we wanted to focus on lunch. Now, we showed the folks a wonderful vegetarian omelet, and I know, before we hit some of those, I know you do other than vegetarian. Any other type of omelet? People build their own, or anything else you specialize in the omelet section?
Yes, we really customize our omelets. We do a 3-cheese omelet. Right. People really like that. We put a combination of Swiss cheese, provolone, cheddar cheese. It comes out really, really nice. We also have a bacon cheese omelet, and we do a sausage cheese omelet. And we've also incorporated a Mexican omelet, which is quite popular, which has a combination of sausage, bacon, and a lot of vegetables. We'll put the green peppers in there, onions, and of course we've got to put our cheese in there. That is a lot of demand for that. We make homemade biscuits in the morning. People love the biscuits. In our breakfast special, we normally...
Okay, well, breakfast, she talked about the biscuit, which is great, homemade biscuits. Let's talk about the lighter items before we go to the heavy.
Okay.
So, like some people will just eat, they eat very light in the morning, maybe a cup of coffee or some juice and a biscuit. So what a great idea, especially if it's homemade. But in addition to that, let's talk about some of the other items, like your muffins that are light, before we go into the full-scale breakfast.
Okay, sure. We have a variety of things. We try to be a person's really home away from home, because people will come in and we have like 3 different varieties of bagels: whole wheat bagels, cinnamon raisin bagels, and plain bagels. Sometimes people ask us to make a breakfast sandwich, and we'll put scrambled eggs or bacon or maybe even cheese, and they can grab it and take it with them to their office. So we also offer the croissants. We have cream cheese that we can put on any of these. And sometimes people just get an order of biscuits, and they like to have that with jelly.
And even plain toast, not plain.
Yeah,
but I understand you even serve toast. So if you're not a biscuit fan, but you want something light, what better than toast with coffee? Correct?
Yes, we have white toast, wheat toast, and of course a multi-grain toast. So
now let's talk about the other extreme for those among myself who love a good breakfast. In fact, just the opposite. I love a good breakfast when it's not breakfast time. So let's talk about you have two specials. One is called the small special, and one is called the breakfast special. Let's go. Obviously, the breakfast special is your coup de grace. That's got everything but the kitchen sink. Let's talk about that one, please, in detail.
Our special that is very popular, we scramble eggs. It has normally 2 or 3 scrambled eggs on it. The biscuits, and of course the grits. We've got to have New Orleans grits. And then we offer, we have excellent bacon, we have excellent sausage, whatever really a person wants. And if they want to substitute toast instead of biscuits, then we're happy to do that. And of course, sometimes you have people who would rather have it without meat, and that's what we call our small special. So that.
Well, one thing I wanted before we went to the small, you said scrambled eggs, but if someone wanted eggs other than that, is your chef prepared to do other styles?
We're very accommodating.
Okay.
If people want them over easy or sunny
that's
side up,
my
whatever.
specialty. I don't eat scrambled eggs.
Right.
So you'll tailor those eggs to whatever the customer likes.
We really do what the customer likes.
Great. And you said the small special, how does it differ? So the large or the breakfast special, you've got 2 or 3 eggs, you've got a choice of meats, you've got grits, and you've got toast or biscuit. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Now, let's take the smallest for those who don't really have the appetite I do. What is the smallest special, but still wants a real meal instead of just a piece of toast?
It's similar, but it's just without meat. It will have the grits and either biscuit or toast and a couple of eggs, scrambled or over easy, whatever way you would like it.
Okay. All right, and then, so anyway, there's any combination of these items, folks, that we're talking about. So she's got a good array of meat, eggs, different. She doesn't have waffles, and I wish she did that. Maybe one day she'll come around to full scale. But at least any of the egg items, and then the light items, the bagels, the toast, the croissants, the muffins, all that, she's got a full scale of that. And we'll talk about some of the beverages that go along with that, when we come back from the musician later in the show. But let's finish it off so people can know, because maybe we've haven't touched enough of their interest with regard to sandwiches. We do have a few more minutes. Let's talk about a few more of the sandwiches. We've already shown them the club. We've shown them the chicken and tuna salad croissant, and we've shown them the Philly steak. What other ones would you like to talk about, please, for the folks?
We do a great turkey melt. People really like that. That will be our 4-star turkey with provolone cheese, and we put bacon on it, and we heat up the whole thing on like a loaf of French bread. It's a sizable sandwich, and it's a very good sandwich. We actually take a lot of requests as people come in, and we're now offering wraps. Sandwiches can be made into wraps, and we sort of let the people build their own wrap with any sort of meat, and we're happy to saute it and put some vegetables in it and cheese and make them a wrap, hot or cold.
Well, let's get to some of the other really common sandwiches, and we have to know, because this is a tough thing in burgers. You really. That is something everybody likes to do, a burger, but not always done. Tell us a little bit about your burger, because you're going against a lot of people here with a burger.
We have a really nice burger. It's a 6 ounce piece of meat. It's a large piece of meat. It's very tasty. It's thick, and we will put that on our French bread, and we will dress that, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, whatever the person would like, and we'll usually put whatever cheese they would like on it. We're also offering right now a low-carb special in which we take our burger and put saute mushrooms, onions over the top of the burger, and top it with cheese with a little small side salad. You're not going to find this on our menu, but we have it on our boards in the restaurant. And that has fulfilled something that our clientele have asked us for.
Okay, but I also see for the people who like a little lighter stuff that you all have hot dogs, but most important you have turkey dogs. Is that right?
We have turkey burgers.
Turkey burgers, I mean, okay, not turkey dog. Well, that's what I meant. We want burgers. I jumped to hot dog, one of my favorite. Turkey burger, for those who want, again, the healthy look, who really want to go away from the red meat. Tell us about your turkey burger, please.
It's made very similar to the hamburger, except, of course, it's ground turkey. If a person's trying to stay away from red meat, we're happy to accommodate them and make a turkey burger for them with any sort of cheese and any sort of dressings and condiments that they would like.
And, of course, you do a hot dog, which I love, and I see you do a chili dog, and with all the cheeses, I know you do cheese, and, of course, you have the onions. That's the way I like it. And it also throws me back to breakfast. I was going to ask, but I didn't notice that you had the chili, is that I noticed you said you're doing a Mexican omelet, but you weren't doing a Texas. You didn't mention about Texas or Western, where it's the same thing as the Mexican, but loaded with chili as well. So you've got the chili there, folks, so if you want to make it Western style, just tell them to load that chili on top of it. Now, a couple more sandwiches. Back to your Italian roots, a meatball sandwich. That's good old home meatball. Tell us about your meatballs.
We do make them right there at the deli. We load them with onions and green peppers, and of course, excellent.
You put egg in your meatball? Yes or
and
no?
we put we put scrambled eggs. Yeah, we put scrambled eggs.
Breadcrumbs?
And we have breadcrumbs, and we have Italian seasoning and all kind of good things. We home make those, and then what we'll do sometimes is we'll have a special, which will be like spaghetti with meatballs, and then on those days we'll offer our meatball po' boys with provolone cheese or mozzarella cheese, whatever, and that's quite popular also.
Okay. Well, two more I got to ask about. One, of course, New Orleans' favorite, muffaletta. Tell us about your muffaletta.
We get a lot of tourists.
And more importantly, when you finish telling us about it, I know you said you heated all sandwiches, but do you heat or not heat the muffaletta? But start off with what's your ingredients first.
Okay. We get a lot of tourists, and that's the first question is what you just said. What is a muffaletta? And so we get to explain that to a lot of people, and I think the end result is always really good because people love it. Of course, it's a 9-inch round piece of bread that has been specially made for that sandwich. We cover it with our ham, which is delicious, a salami. We have a great salami. It's very good tasting. We cover that with provolone cheese. We put an olive salad over it. We put a little mayo, and we'll put oil and vinegar on it. We open it up, and we heat it in our convection ovens until everything is melted and warm, and then we cut it and serve it that way. And I really haven't had any complaints about our muffaletta.
I don't doubt it, but there are some truists who really believe a muffaletta should not be heated. So even though that's against your general philosophy of a sandwich, I'm sure if the customer said, hold off from the heat, you'd do so.
We're happy to accommodate
That's
people
what I thought.
all the time.
Now, the only thing that I find very strange and objectionable to your menu, and don't take offense here, but I want you to explain, giving you fair time to explain this, because this is totally out of character with a New Orleans restaurant per se, is submarine sandwiches. How could you even use that term? That's a term from way a different language. What do you mean by a submarine sandwich? With all these great sandwiches, what are you doing with a submarine, and what is a submarine from your perspective?
Well, Bob, we had to have a submarine if we were going to call ourselves the Common Street Deli, because that's definitely a deli sandwich. So once again, we put a lot of those similar meats on a large piece of French bread. And we will put, our ham and our salami, and we will, we put our lettuce, tomatoes, our lots of cheese on it. We put oregano and some olive oil. So once again, it's a good old sort of Italian sandwich. We've always got to eat a little Italian seasoning on there and cheese. And we heat that up. And for the most part, we don't dress it. People mostly like it with meat like that. But we do sell quite a bit, and it's another one of the man sandwiches we have. I'm going to call them a man sandwich because the Philly cheesesteak is always ordered by men, and they always get the big one.
Well, I agree. I just don't hate to use that term. To me, that's just another type of po' boy that's overstuffed or overloaded, and that term submarine sandwich just comes from another place, another time, and just doesn't jive with New Orleans cooking. So we're going to forgive you, but we hope you find a better term for it, because I know the sandwich must be great, or sandwiches style, but certainly not using that term, because we're leading the tourists might find it happy because they're thinking they're coming from back home. At the same time, we don't want to lure them into something that certainly is not outside of New Orleans tradition. So I think you got the right product. We just got to get a better name for it. Okay, folks, we've been talking to Miss Judy Barry. She's the new owner of a brand new restaurant right down there on Common Street between Carondelet and Barone, called Common Street Deli. Open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 7 to 5. Don't remember, she's going to be expanding to later hours as well for you people. She's also getting a liquor license, so that's going to be better for the evening. She's open on Saturday right now from, I think, was it 7 still?
7 to 3.
7 to 3, a little earlier. But she'll expand that as the traffic bears. We're telling you this is definitely home cooking. This is what we need, this type of little deli. Just like a diner, but in a beautiful deli style that'll appeal to a lot of folks. There's a lot of folks working down there and a lot of folks that traffic down there. Now what we want to do is we're going to go back to our musician, come back and finish our desserts, and then we'll talk about some special events. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from Jesse Moore for his second song.
CD.
Okay, what's it
Working on
called?
now. This is called Stranger in the Band.
Sadness kicks right through me like an indigo sensation. Leaves me crying lonely through the night. The madness sticks right to me like a sin that'll never wash away. It keeps me lying sleepless through the night. Never thought I'd find these blues laying here across my bed. Always knew the road I'd choose, I could see it in my head. Why things had to fall apart, I may never understand. I sit here watching helpless, I'm the stranger in the band. Like a tear that'll never fall away. It's never been too far away. It's always been as close to me as skin. I've always known this loneliness. It's an ever-present loneliness, like an old familiar moan upon the wind. Never thought I'd find myself singing naked in the rain. Always held my mask up high so you couldn't see the pain. Why I feel the way I feel, I may never understand. I sit here watching helpless, I'm the stranger in the band. I've always known this Never thought I'd let you take a stroll across my heart. Always knew that if I did, it would only be the start. Maybe if I ramble on, you will finally understand. This is just a visit. I'm the stranger in the band.
Voodoo Marie, that's Jesse Moore's great CD. Hopefully you'll like it and check it out because, as you see, it's a great, great title. So he's got a nice little group there. Performs locally, individually, and also with that group, so it's all over town. Watch for him. Okay, we're pleased here today. Miss Judy Barry of Common Street Deli. She's doing a bang-up job, poor dear, with a throat and that's really causing her a lot of problems. But she's going to make it. She's on the downside now, so we're almost finished. What we want to do now is talk a little bit about desserts, beverages, and then I've got to talk to you about our special event. So, Judy, let's tell the folks. I think we have one picture of one dessert you had that night, and that's what's a couple pictures of your brownie a la mode. Let's talk about that, please.
Okay. It's really a wonderful brownie. Once again, we have some homemade desserts we do, and we change them up every week.
Now you make the brownie from scratch?
Yes, we do. These are it's a large brownie with walnuts, and we put the ice cream on top, and we have a raspberry sauce that we top it with. It's really good.
Let's talk about some of the others. That night you only had that, but talk about some of the others that you actually feature in the restaurant.
Okay, every week we cook chocolate chip cookies because we have a whole group of people who work right in our building, and they love to come down around 2 o'clock and look for a cookie or something sweet. So, we do that. We have carrot cake. This last week we had carrot cake we had cooked. Previously, the last few weeks, we did bread pudding. We do the New Orleans bread pudding and try to encourage our visitors from out of town to try that. And we've gotten a real good reception on our bread pudding.
Okay. And as for beverages, I know we're going to show you a picture. Great. I think we had a cappuccino here with whipped cream. It was really delicious. Tell us about the different soft drinks and coffees, et cetera, that you have for the folks.
We have an espresso. We can offer espresso. We have an espresso machine, and we do cappuccinos. We can do lattes. We do cafe au lait. We have a great, really a New Orleans coffee that we offer on a daily basis that people really do enjoy. It has a wonderful taste, in addition to our specialty coffees. Also, one of my associates designed an iced coffee.
Great.
And we get a lot of demand for that.
Let's hear anything special about it? What is?
It's like her secret recipe. I'm not quite sure exactly what goes in it, but she makes it, and she has a lot of repeat requests for it.
Okay. Anything? Do you have any teas at all?
We do hot tea, and we, of course, brew cold tea every day.
Okay.
And we offer a large variety of drinks, really to satisfy all of our clients. We have a lot of, in addition to regular soft drinks, we do have a variety of diet drinks for, just to accommodate. We also have some specialty drinks that we include.
Specialty drinks? Like what?
Well, we have, like the Red Bull and the Frappuccinos and some stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
People request from us.
All right. Well, great. Well, again, she's got, as we mentioned earlier, that right now she's waiting for her liquor license. So when that comes down the stream, she'll be able to do anything for you all. But she's gracious enough, as we always ask, to allow any of her guests in the evening to bring their own selection of either beer or wine to accompany their dinner. But again, that's for the future. It won't be long. She'll be able to accommodate them, but at the same time, don't hesitate to ask or to bring it. And as long as she doesn't have a license, she'll be happy to allow you to do so. So once again today, we've been speaking to Miss Judy Barry She's the new owner of Common Street Deli, 800 block of Common in between Carondelet and Barone. She's open for breakfast and lunch, 6 days basically a week, Monday through Saturday. Presently, Monday through Friday, she's open from 7 in the morning to 5 in the evening. Breakfast, all the breakfast is served the entire day, so that's great. And she's also open on Saturdays from 7 to 3. Once she gets established with that evening trade, she will extend those hours both on Saturday and the weekdays. So be on the lookout for it. So if you have any friends, or if you work yourself in the commercial business district and you have to stay late for whatever reason, don't hesitate to give them a call. Get on their fax menu, stop in when they get a menu. They'll be happy to answer any questions and let you know what they have that day. It's so convenient and very, very easy for you to find. So we want you to give them a try. I think, is anything else you want to tell the guest, Judy?
We look forward to meeting you. Come in and see us.
Okay, but we appreciate that. Again, we want to go ahead now and talk a little bit about our special event because it's something that we're real proud of. As I mentioned last week briefly, but I want to make sure we spend enough time on it even right now before we go back to our musical guest. We're privileged for two reasons to represent the Odyssey House in one of their annual galas. In fact, before we even get into one thing we want to tell you is that Miss Judy Barry and Common Street Deli will be represented at this function. So all the great food, now not all the great food we talked about today will be available because at the Crawfish Odyssey, as it's called, the only dish will be provided by the restaurants are dishes made with crawfish. But we know they've got, and we can't tell right now what she's going to be doing because all that's secret because this is a judged competition. That means every one of the restaurateurs that does their crawfish dish will be judged by two things. One, by a panel of judges, celebrity judges, and two, by the people who attend. Last year, the Crawfish Odyssey did a wonderful job and brought in 450 people who attended. So you tell you how popular. And that's because it's a very wonderful charity and also very, very reasonable for the food you're going to get. A lot of our charity galas have actually gone up to $75, $100, $125 a person. This one is much less expensive. Now, what we want to do also to tell you about the Crawfish Odyssey is that we're actually going to be giving away tickets for the next 3 weeks. So if you want to win them, there's two ways you can do it. One is you can watch our show, and our director's putting up for you an address that you can do one of two ways. You can write in via the post office box that's shown on the screen to Restaurant Revue. See it there, Post Office Box, Metairie, that zip code. And the other way, if you're more technologically inclined, which most of us are today, you can also send us an email. And the email address for now is restaurantrevue@yahoo.com. Restaurant, spelled the normal way, RESTAURANT, but you know the way we spell review, REVUE. So that's one word, restaurantrevue@yahoo.com. So you can mail it if you want to take it the snail way with postage and extra expense, or you can email it to us. We will be picking for the next 3 weeks 6 tickets. In other words, 3 couples can go. Now, real quickly about the event, it is Friday, April the 1st, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the beautiful DoubleTree Hotel on the fantastic 16th floor with a magnificent view of the whole city. Right now, there's 12 confirmed restaurants. There are 3 more pending. As I mentioned, there's a panel of celebrity judges, including some TV. I know there's Roop Raj from Channel 6, which I know you all watch. You're Channel 6 fans. We have a great, great chef in her own right, Miss Leah Chase, with her shows that she has. And I myself and a few others. We don't have a lot more to talk. Just remember that date. Give them a call if you want, but go ahead and email us or send us your thing so you can be a lucky winner. We'll tell you about it next week, and we'll be telling you the winners. Meanwhile, we want to go ahead now and let Jesse Moore and his little duet take you out, and we'll see you next weekend. Thanks again. wonderful group that he's put together for us. And Jesse, what are you going to take us out with, please?
I'm going to go to my Caribbean roots on this one and do something called La Di Da.
Is a surefire mood enhancer. Sing it. La di da da da. Sing a song with me now. La di da da da. Set your spirit free. La di da da da. Sing a song with me now. La di da da da. Money's coming hard. Is gonna